home for a Game 6. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert along with Jeff Van Gundy, the Czar. Mike Fratello, as reported earlier on the pregame show, Dirk Nowitzki will be sidelined for a second straight game because of that sprained knee. So, Jeff, I would think that there's no other choice. Don Nelson will go with the same approach that we saw in Dallas on Sunday night.
Don Nelson was very happy with his big three. They combined for 72 points, only got to the free throw line 5 times. What they really need, though, is a big game from Rafe LaFrance, who had only 7 points and 6 rebounds. They need a double-double from him tonight to win.
And Czar, with the Mavericks once again going with a hybrid lineup, what are the concerns for tonight on the part of the Spurs?
Well, as Greg Popovich told us today, with Nowitzki in there, at least they have some idea, some feel for what Dallas wants to run on offense. With this smaller lineup, it just causes chaos with San Antonio's defense because Van Exel, Nash, and Finley each wind up taking 7 to 8 more shots a game. So obviously, he'd much rather see the other lineup for some security.
All right, San Antonio has not lost 3 consecutive games all season, and that's the task in front of Dallas to pull out this series. A look at tonight's Bud Light starting lineups. Mavericks with Walt Williams and Nick Van Exel in the starting lineup. Once again, San Antonio goes the same way. Bruce Bowen, Tim Duncan, David Robinson on the front line. Steven Jackson and Tony Parker in the backcourt. The officials, Jack Neese, Ed F. Ruff, Mike Callahan, and we're underway as the Mavericks control. Nash played by Bowen here at the start. Finley being guarded by Jackson. Remember, in Dallas, Mavericks got off with that burst of energy, took the quick lead. LaFrance off the mark, and here comes Parker. Parker met on a switch by Finley. Tony Parker coming off a stellar performance in game number 4. At the big third quarter, which was the case in game number 3. They double up on Duncan. Shot clock to 1. He has to fire.
Double team came late in the shot clock. San Antonio wasn't quite ready for it. Duncan just hoisted it up there.
Van Exel thought he was hit. Williams with the step. Robinson got a piece of it. Here's Parker with a series of fakes.
Mark, that's the problem with San Antonio. When you get past the one big man, Duncan, the other one, and Robinson is there to protect the rim, and vice versa. And then we saw San Antonio trying to exploit the transition defense of Dallas.
Nash with the step. And Parker hit the deck.
I think one of the most underrated things about Parker is his defense there in Nash, because Parker fell down, got all the way to the rim.
Duncan again facing the double. An open 3 for Bowen. Bruce Bowen, who led the NBA in three-point efficiency during the regular season, was able to drill it. And the Spurs have a 5-2 lead. Nice ball movement, opens it up for Van Exel. And that's from downtown.
What we've just seen is at 2 ends of the floor, offensive execution. Swing the ball, play unselfishly, make extra passes, find the open shooter.
A live TNT NBA Spanish language feed is now available via SAP. Both teams using the shot clock here at the start, and then Steven Jackson able to knock it down. Jackson battling that throat infection the past couple of days, broke out with 17 points the other night, all in the second half. Van Exel using the screen, came up with air. Tim Duncan is fouled by Van Exel.
That's just a frustration foul because Nick Van Exel thought he was fouled on the jump shot. Here he lifts up. His arm definitely was hit. Was it incidental or not? That's up to the official. But certainly, with the lack of depth Dallas has, they can't afford their players to take unnecessary fouls.
This is a team with 9 available players. Robinson gets inside. They have only one player over 6'8". That's Rafe LaFrance. And Exel lost it. And again, he thought he was fouled. Parker. And last touch by San Antonio. The other day, the Mavericks were saying, hey, we can't lose our composure, but that's exactly what we're seeing here at the start on the part of Van Exel.
And you saw Del Harris jump up. I think Del was willing to take a technical if he had to, because he yelled out, call the foul. He'd rather take one early here, keep Nick around, and keep Don Nelson Sr. around. They've got to get some early calls, they feel, and get to the foul line.
That's a defensive 3-second violation. So we'll see a technical foul. Roger Bell will check in.
Mark, Greg Popovich mentioned to us one guy that he'd really like to see get off early tonight would be David Robinson, who has really struggled in the series. We'll see the technical foul being shot by Nash because of the illegal defense. Robinson already with a block and a dunk.
I absolutely love the substitution Don Nelson just made. Got Roger Bell in, took Nick Van Exel out, a couple of quiet words for him, let him calm down, regain his composure. Nick Van Exel's a terrific competitor, but he doesn't want to see him take another frustration foul.
And Nick in a crouch in front of the Dallas bench, so you get the idea that Nelson told him that'll put him back in very shortly. Here's Bell for 3. Yes! What a substitution by Don Nelson.
Brilliant. Send somebody in. Set it up, let him hit a 3. And the other reason, Mark, that he's kneeling in front of the bench, there's no room at the end of the bench. It's too crowded down there.
And Roger Bell has done it at the offensive end throughout the playoffs. Jackson, rebounded by Finley. The game is tied at 9. LaFrance for 3.
Mark, I can't tell you how much I hate that shot. Rafe LaFrance lives in the three-point line now. Instead of being inside and doing dirty work, he's too good to just camp out at the three-point line.
Bowen passed on the 3 and hits the 2. Bruce Bowen, only 1 of 8 Sunday night in game 4. And that one successful field goal was from downtown. No hesitation on the part of Bell. Spurs with the ball. They lead by 2. Here's the alley-oop to Duncan. Nice long pass tossed by Parker.
Mark, if Dallas is going to have a chance tonight, they must shoot the ball, Nash with the miss. They must shoot the ball somewhere in the 52-53% area for the night from the floor. They're not going to get by with a 43-44% performance. They just won't score enough points to beat San Antonio.
Jackson for 3.
And Mike, the reason is they don't get to the free throw line and they don't get offensive rebounds, so they're always playing from a differential.
Late whistle as Finley was looking for the foul call, and then Ed Rush made the call. Greg Popovich complaining. Foul on Duncan.
This is a late whistle. Right there is where the block is called. The official waited for a second. You can see the players going after, and that is when the foul is called late. Greg Popovich very upset with the fact that it was such a late whistle.
And Mark, I don't know if that was a foul or not, but that was a super ramp drop by our super slow-mo people back in the truck.
I tell you, Jeff, and television terminology, it's
you really have amazed me. I have to give you, we acknowledge people when they go above and beyond and do great things. Your command of the language now, TV language, is unbelievable.
But the English language is where I
You have a problem there, yes. Multi-syllable words you really struggle with.
Spurs lead 13-11. Coming up on 6 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. Game 5 of the Western Conference Final Series. San Antonio with the 3-1 lead. Duncan trying that fadeaway.
It'll be the first time in history, Jeff, I've seen a give and go with a 7-footer to 7-footer and get a return pass.
But I like the idea of posting Robinson against Walt Williams.
Oh, what a play by Bowen. Slapping it away from Williams. Last touch by Williams. And a timeout is taken.
In transition, Duncan catches his defender on the ball side, Parker just lays it over the top of Lafrange's head. Duncan able to catch and finish all in one motion.
The Spurs with an early 2-point lead over the Dallas Mavs. You know, in recent weeks, Charles Barkley isn't the only one who's learned how to pronounce Manu Ginobili's name. However, in his homeland of Argentina, he's a hero. In European leagues, he's a legend. But yes, by NBA standards, even at the age of 25, he is a rookie. And with that comes some tradition. According to the Spurs, all rookies must bring several dozen donuts to the shoot-around on game days. Manu Ginobili, being the only rookie on the playoff roster, has to continue with this, even though we are nearly 100 games into the season, counting the playoffs and regular season, and even though he's 25 years old. But the tradition must continue, according to Kevin Willis, who says it all began back when he was a rookie under Mike Fratello and had to carry all the bags. Cheryl?
Right, Nick Van Exel told me that tonight they cannot afford to play catch-up. They need to get off to a solid start, hopefully keep this game close and steal it in the end. He said for the next 48 minutes, we need to value every possession. We need to keep the rebounding close, and finally our bench must step up and play big. But Marv, he didn't say anything about keeping the composure.
All right, thanks, Cheryl. Getting back to Craig's point, Jeff, I'm wondering if the Czar made the rookies carry the cardboard boxes that he travels with and the laundry bags from hotels that he usually takes on the road, which embarrasses us all. Robinson able to recover, and here's Jackson for Bowen. The three. Bruce Bowen from downtown, his second three. So the Spurs have a 16-11 lead. Here's Williams, the Wizard, from deep in the corner. That's the three-point shot. And the Spurs now lead at 16-14. Coming up on 5 minutes remaining in the first. Manu Ginobili will check in a moment. Jackson, yes. Steven Jackson has come a long way from the start of the series when he was struggling and then went down with the flu. Nash looking to put a move on Parker. Nash got the step and the foul is called. It is on Parker.
And what Nash tried to do is he tried to wait until Robinson or Duncan stepped out of the lane on the far side. They never came across, which they normally do. On isolations, they bring him across the lane. He waited till the moment when it opened up, and then we'll see if he uses his arm to push off on Tony Parker. And he did, in my opinion. But he was called for a foul.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter what we think right now.
No, it doesn't.
He's shooting too.
And Mark, going back to Van Exel for a second, when he came out, Del Harris spent considerable time patting him on the back, calming him down, and just remember what their relationship was like back in LA when Del was the head coach. I think it shows a lot of courage. That's a great pass by Ginobili, but a lot of forgiveness by Del and a lot of maturity by Nick Van Exel that relationship has been repaired.
And that was a major question when the Mavericks made the deal with Denver for Van Exel. He was acquired from the Nuggets mid-season after the 5 years with the Lakers. Here's Nash on a step back. Yes. So both teams hitting their shots. Spurs 20, Mavericks 18 as we approach 4 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Malik Rose up front now with Tim Duncan and Bruce Bowen. And the foul as Roger Bell came over to help out.
You see, as Duncan brings the ball up the last section, watch him reach forward with his arms, hoping that he steps underneath there and gets the contact on his arms. He does. He goes to the line for two. Mark, going back to your point about Del Harris and Van Exel, what it does is it shows that Del's thinking was team first. Can this player come and add something to this team to help Don Nelson win games? He was willing to put the personal thing aside. He just evaluated Nick Van Exel for what he could do as a player for this team. He was all for it, very supportive of the deal.
Reminder, exclusive coverage of these Western Conference Finals will continue on TNT if they do continue. If necessary, game on Thursday, Game 6 back in Dallas. And if the series does continue, it will be on hand starting at 9 o'clock Eastern time. LaFrance able to get inside.
There's where he should be playing right now. Going to the basket, LeBron fouls, get to the rim. He's a better player inside than people think he is, maybe even than he thinks he is.
Here's Duncan, nice move. A little extra spin on the part of Duncan.
You know, I'm so excited right now because now I know what gets my two partners excited. For Marv, it's bank shots and whip passes, and for you, Jeff, it's an inside layup by LaFrance. You two get so excited just by those things.
Big players who are good shooters overdo it and hang on the perimeter far too much.
Adrian Griffin able to recover. Good hustle by Malik Rose. He thought he deflected it off Roger Bell, but it will be Dallas ball. Will have 3 seconds on the clock.
First, Ginobili goes to the steal and misses. Then right here, Malik Rose thinks he's got it, but instead, a deflection out of bounds.
All right, Finley gets it off. And back comes San Antonio. Here's Rose getting down deep. Malik Rose, a major contributor down the stretch on Sunday night. He had 8 rebounds, couple of big buckets, 8 points in all. Spurs 25, Mavericks 20. Duncan feeding over to help out. Shot clock to 2. Bell has to force, and it's a 24-second violation.
That was the same isolation as they had run 2 or 3 times earlier for Nash. But this time, as you mentioned, Mark, Duncan came across the lane, would not allow him to drive the basket.
San Antonio up by 5. We'll take a break. It will be San Antonio ball as we resume. Now Steve Nash sits down. Nick Van Exel is back. For Dallas, a team that has played in 2 Game 7s. This is now 10 playoff games in 18 days. That's because of that back-to-back scenario in the Sacramento series. And they're going once again with 9 available players. Nice move, Ginobili, who was quiet in this series prior to Game 4 on Sunday.
Ginobili threw the backdoor pass to Malik Rose. That time, Ginobili ran the backdoor himself and got the pass for a layup.
7-point San Antonio lead. Parker with the steal. Parker and Ginobili now at the guards with Duncan, Rose, and Bowen up front. Nice pass. Duncan for Rose on a backdoor once again.
Because Van Exel got caught on top of Rose trying to front him. They flash to a high low. As soon as Van Exel gets in front of him, they front him, they flash Duncan high, and then Rose just turns into the lane for the backdoor pass.
And if you're LaFrance right there guarding Duncan at the high post, you've got to deny the ball and or swarm it and protect your smaller guard guarding Rose after the switch of the pick and roll.
It answered for the Spurs, and apparently a delay of game was called on San Antonio after that bucket. Hot clock down to 4. LaFrance for 3. Well, late LaFrance camping deep in the perimeter area. Now it's 5 points.
I thought he kind of looked over towards this direction, Marv, after he made that shot from the perimeter.
He said something.
It was directed at Jeff, I think.
It was a physical taunt. I learned that one last game.
Here's Ginobili from downtown. And Duncan is fouled.
One of the concerns of Don Nelson is keeping a body on Duncan. He's so long and so much bigger than most of the other players on the floor. Look how he extends those arms. He keeps it up high, and then the foul takes place. They have to keep a body on him so he cannot get close enough to outreach and outjump the other people. You have to box him out deep. Keep him away from that rim.
Foul committed by LaFrance. His first.
Mark, we talked about 10 games in 18 days for Dallas. One of the problems, Nelson said, is, look, other than that one back-to-back series, we have had a day off in between, but it gives you no time to have live practices. The players just too fatigued on that one day off in between games.
That's their 101st game of the season. That's the most played in the NBA, and we're not talking preseason games. It's playoffs and regular season. Just under 1 minute remaining in the first. Spurs up by 7. Here's Van Exel. Speedy Claxton on it. He just came on. guarding Duncan. Ginobili stopped by Griffin. The shot clock to 4. Good job defensively by Dallas. And the ball back to the Mavs.
One of the things Popovich wants to do is start the ball on one side and reverse it to the other side. It's just that they took up so much time in deciding when to make the reversal pass, they left Ginobili with very little time to create.
Nash with the crossover, and he is fouled by Claxton. Non-shooting affair. And a foul to give. So the next team foul for either club means the penalty. And here's Kevin Willis, who did not play at all on Sunday night. But Popovich saying he would go to Willis earlier here this evening. Coming out for Tim Duncan, who sits down with 6 points. Now Walt Williams checks back in.
Don Nelson calls his play and pointed to Adrian Griffin. He thinks that that's who Willis is going to match up with. It would seem that that's who they'll try and get the isolation for. Griffin against Kevin Willis.
Kevin Willis, a major contributor in game 1 here in San Antonio. Nash comes back to Nash with time running down. Looked like a travel. Finley. Bruce Bowen claiming that Nash actually went off his feet, went to the air. But it does not matter because Dallas was not able to convert. San Antonio on fire here at the start. 13 of 20 from the field. They also had 11 assists on the 13 field goals. Parker with 5 of those 11. Good start for the Spurs, who are hoping to close it out here tonight at home.
Heartbreaking to Dallas to play that good as they're playing and still be down almost 10. It's just, they're not going to beat them. It's just Tim Duncan and them are playing. They know that they need the rest. They know they need the time off, and they're executing their offense very well, playing good defense.
As if you needed more insight into this series, we turn it back over to Marv and his posse.
All right, Ernie, I anticipate intense sponsor interest next season for the highly anticipated inside the green room vignette. And a foul is called as the second quarter gets underway. Speedy Claxton was stripped, and he was hit. Foul on Walt Williams, that is his first. Claxton at the line.
Mark, go back to what we said in the first quarter. If Dallas is going to have a chance, they have got to shoot in the 50% or higher area. They shot just 5% in the first quarter and gave up 65% shooting at the other end for San Antonio.
And I'm not sure I've ever seen a smaller team on the floor in the NBA in a playoff game, particularly a conference final game, that Dallas has on the floor. Walt Williams, a 6'8" small forward, is playing center with 2 point guards and two guards, in Finley and Griffin.
Yes, another edition of small ball, but they have taken it, I would say, to the greatest heights, but that would not be accurate. Dallas with only one healthy player over 6'8", because aside from the injury suffered by Dirk Nowitzki, Sean Bradley also out, as is Evan Eschmeyer, who normally does not play very much. 3-on-2, here's Van Exel for Finley, nice play. And the Spurs now lead at 32-25. Rick Popovich has Claxton and Ginobili, along with Jackson in a 3-guard set. Duncan front rows. And San Antonio able to thrive against this small Dallas lineup.
And we've talked a lot about Nowitzki's injury, but Bradley being out renders Dallas' zone much more ineffective.
Last touched by Duncan. So Dallas will get the new shot clock.
Mark, let me go back to the LA series real quick. When Rick Fox got hurt, remember we said that if a guy is the 13th or 14th man on the roster, maybe there should be some consideration you can activate him once the playoffs start. Tracy Murray could have come in for the Lakers. Here you got Popeye Jones sitting out without Eschmeyer and with Bradley hurt right now, and obviously their main guy, Nowitzki, out. They could substitute a big man in the lineup.
All back to San Antonio. We talked about that with Don Nelson. He said he has no complaints. That's what he said to us.
So you don't agree with what Jeff and I felt so strongly about?
I'm telling you what Don Nelson said.
I don't remember him saying that, to be honest with you, but he probably said it to you in private.
Jeff and I have had many private discussions with the coaches after you leave.
They've enjoyed those marks.
Yes, they have. Yes. 2 minutes gone by in the second, and the Spurs up by 9. A defensive 3-second call the other way. This one against Dallas.
And they caught Walt Williams just hanging in the lane, middle of the lane, under the rim, playing basically no one.
Steven Jackson will shoot the technical. Look at some of those injuries that you touched on, Czar. Chris Webber, Rick Fox, Derek Anderson, all key players on teams that were eliminated.
And I go back to Mike's point. I think it's something we have to look at for the league so that the teams can be as competitive as possible.
Ginobili gets it right back to Duncan. 10 points for Tim Duncan. Facing the double once again here at the start. Did not force the issue the other night, passing so effectively out of the double team. Then made some adjustments in the second half. And Exel getting the step and is fouled. David Robinson about to check back in. Foul on Ginobili. You look back to Game 4 on Sunday night. The major difference for the Dallas point of view, they were riding a wave of emotion at American Airlines Center. They came out with a burst of energy, played with a great deal of determination. And to this point, that has not been the case. Nash. And here is Van Exel for 3. Van Exel had it knocked aside by Ginobili. It's a 4-on-2. They have to pull it back. Once again, Rose, and he is fouled. He was clobbered. Now, Mike Callahan pointing to the far side as for a flagrant foul, and apparently that's the call.
I think this is a combination of Nahara hits him, and you see him go after more body than ball. Then he goes to the ground. I think it's a good call by the official right there. That, to me, was not an intent to play the basketball. He wanted to take a foul, but he couldn't get to the ball in time, so he just went after his body and knocked him down.
And I think he's very lucky that it didn't lead to an ejection.
And Malik Rose has been involved in a number of physical scenarios. Remember last game against Rafe Lafretz, this a double technical foul that was called. And in game 1, Malik kneed in the back of the head accidentally by Nahara. Was not cold, suffered a stinger in his back, and then was cleared to play after undergoing an MRI and came back strong in game 2. Rose with 8 points and 8 minutes of play here in the first half. 3 minutes gone by in the second. Jackson, it counts, and the foul charged to Lafretz. And this one getting away.
Well, Mark, Steven Jackson, as you have mentioned, really has gotten himself back together again, regained his composure. Earlier on, he had taken some quick, hasty shots. Now, taking his time, executing, going to the basket for one of the few times we've seen thus far in the series.
An 11-2 run and counting for San Antonio. Boring to the San Antonio Spurs. Tim Duncan averaging just under 32 per game in this series. He had that string going, 4 straight 30-point games, joining George Gervin as the only Spurs player to score at least 30 in 4 straight. What a series it has been for the 2-time most valuable player.
Is this what offensive efficiency is all about? When you shoot 67%, you make 16 out of 24 field goal attempts, 13 of which come via the assist route. You have only 1 turnover. Is that what offensive efficiency is all about?
That's it, in a nutshell.
That was a long question for a short answer.
I repeated it at the end just in case you forgot by the time I got there.
You think there's an attention span problem here?
For one individual, yes.
Spurs lead at 42-25. And Exel not able to hit. Are you getting your final shots in on Jeff? Is that what this is? As Rose comes up short, and Claxton and Finley will jump it up.
Final, meaning final game this year if San Antonio was on to win. We see again the layup attempt, and now is a scramble for the loose ball. Right there is where the jump ball is called by the official.
Good call.
8.5 remaining in the first half. San Antonio up by 17. Marv Albert, Lazar, Mike Patello, Jeff Van Gundy, Craig Sager, Cheryl Miller working the sideline. Well, Claxton tried to steal that tip. So the ball will be presented to Dallas.
Got it on the way up. You cannot touch the ball while it's on its way up. Otherwise, that is trying to steal the tap. The ball's awarded to the other team.
Once again, LaFrance from the corner. Yep, going crazy on the outside shooting. Nice play. Speedy Claxton extends to a 44-25 lead.
And I'm going to tell you why. What he's playing like now is Brad Lowhouse, who had a good career but was just a spot-up shooter. Rafe LaFrance is more talented than that.
Well, LaFrance not able to hit. Finley stopped, and we get a whistle.
But see, because he was going at the basket, even though his shot got blocked, it led to a second shot for Finley. He's a talented player. He's long. He gets it blocked, but he's attacking. That leads to a good play by Finley and a foul. What I was getting to is Rafe LaFrance can score on the block. Does he have a nice jump shot? Yes, he does. If he overdoes it, it takes away from the other parts of his game, which he has a well-rounded game. He's got to use it.
Foul on Rose to put Finley at the line. Well, the NBA Finals will tip off June the 4th at 8 o'clock Eastern Time at ABC. A long rest period for the New Jersey Nets, who are waiting in the wings. And don't mind that rest with Jason Kidd recovering from the ankle injury. You can log on to NBA.com for a look ahead of the potential matchups, including a statistical breakdown for all the conference finalists. 17-point San Antonio lead. They have jumped on the Mavericks here in the first half. Claxton stopped by LaFrance. Shot clock to 4. Claxton is crushed. The combination of Nahara and LaFrance. If it's LaFrance, it's his 3rd foul, and it is.
When you saw Nahara put his hand up right away, he tried to take the foul for his teammate, hoping the official would award it to him instead. But we'll watch LaFrance go out, challenge the ball, and now as he goes past, here comes Nahara. You see him put his hand up, try to get the call, but he did not.
Eddie Claxton in his 2nd NBA season out of Hofstra, originally a #1 pick of the 76ers. Nick Van Exel will take the seat, as will Rafe LaFrance. Roger Bell and Walt Williams check back in. Don Nelson saying after the game the other night that the Spurs can play any style you want to play. They can run, they can go half court. If you zone them, they've got that covered. And as you guys mentioned earlier, they love to go small ball. They don't mind going up against the smaller Dallas Maverick concept. So There's no advantage at all for Don Nelson in playing a smaller team.
And that's all about having balance. San Antonio has balance between offense and defense, inside and outside play, and they, like you said, Mark, feel comfortable with any style of game.
Finley had it deflected. 7 on the shot clock. Tony Parker will check back in. Comes on for Claxton, who sits down with 5 points. Trading Tony for the third quarter, where he has excelled. Williams rejected by Robinson. David Robinson hearing it from this crowd.
Not a bad luxury to have a guy under the basket that can change block shots when his partner goes out. You got the next one in, whoever it is, Robinson or Duncan.
Spurs now lead 45-29. 4 block shots for David Robinson. There's Jackson. Yes. He had enough time to rotate the ball, take a look at it, and then release. It counts on the foul on Robinson.
That just was not a good play by David Robinson. He turned his body, he moved out of the way. He had plenty of time to step in, take a charge, go up and try and block the shot. If you're going to foul him and not let him make it. Here you see Jackson lining it up. Beautiful rotation on the ball, then a three-pointer. At the other end, see him move up to the side. He tries to swipe it instead of using his 7-foot size to go up and block the shot.
Now Bowen comes on for Ginobili. We were talking earlier with Greg Popovich about David Robinson. And Greg said, well, if we get a good game out of Robinson, the series is over because David has been struggling. He's still getting to the board. But 4 block shots for Robinson in his first half.
And he thought early on, he said, maybe we have to run a couple of plays early on to get him involved to see if we can get him going. But the game did not start out that way. It wasn't necessary to do that.
16-point San Antonio lead. A high total of assists. Parker gets in and counts. It's a goaltend on Walt Williams.
They do a great job when they enter the ball into the post and make a cut to the baseline side. Duncan gives it back. They've gotten a number of layups. One of those was the Ginobili reverse jam the other night.
Ashton met by the switch, played by Duncan. Here's Williams. And Walt Williams taking advantage of his size on Tony Parker.
Jeff, going back to what you said, there's a couple reasons why they can run that baseline series. One, they get Duncan to post up in a mid-post area, so it creates room on the baseline. Secondly, Duncan's capable of making that pass and putting it right where it has to be so his teammate could convert.
Robinson is fouled as David Robinson is looking to take advantage. He had 2 small men out of Roger Bell and Steve Nash. Nash called for the foul. 5:45 remaining. First half. It has been all San Antonio. They're up by 16 points.
Park on George Gervin Court by his favorite Italian restaurant, and not get a ticket.
He can come and he won't get no ticket if he parked on George Gervin Court.
All right, thanks a lot, Marvin.
All right, Craig actually thought that standing ovation was for him.
His sport jacket, they love it.
George Gervin, the man who said, you know, everybody can dunk, but not everybody can finger roll. That was the signature shot of Hall of Famer, the Iceman, George Gervin.
Put George's TV commercial on today. Did a very good job.
Open spot here in San Antonio. 5.5 remaining in this first half. Nice play by Williams getting it inside. Shot clock down to 2. Finley is fouled.
Jeff, did you happen to know the color of Craig Sager's sport jacket tonight? It's another one of those rare breeds.
No, I don't. What is it?
That is, best of my recollection, burnt sienna. Burnt sienna.
I remember having the Crayola burnt sienna.
You had one of those.
Yes.
The big kid, yes.
Foul on Robinson, his second. Finley has 9 points. Parker is back, so Parker and Jackson now in the backcourt with Duncan, Robinson, and Bowen on the front line.
And now Popovich is saying to Dallas, okay, you match up with our guys right now. Okay, we'll put our two big guys in, see what you can do with it.
And that pass went through the hands of Robinson. Nahara. Bell. Nahara. Dallas having difficulty locating a shot. Williams rejected by Duncan.
Every possession, they're just laboring to get the ball up to the rim where it's either a semi-contested shot.
And again, a late call. It is on Dallas. Foul committed by Nahara.
Doesn't look like there's anywhere to go for Walt Williams, but he's still going to try and shoot it through Tim Duncan at the other end. Duncan with the quick spin. There's the contact. He goes down.
I'll tell you, Nahara has taken some really big-time shots at people tonight. He's using his body, his arms. He's trying to bring a physical presence to the game. The unfortunate part for Dallas is he only has 6 hits like that, and right now he's already got 2 fouls. He's only got 4 more whacks.
Eduardo goes 6'8", about 235, 240. Born in Mexico, grew up in San Antonio as an exchange student, attended high school in San Antonio. Nahara, crowd favorite in Dallas because of his hustle and relentless style of play. 16-point Spurs lead. Finley with the step. Michael Finley taking it to the rim. And Mike Callahan calling an intentional foul. Tariq Abdul-Wahid had just checked in, and here we go. It's Hack-a-Bowen time with 4:22 to go in this first half.
I'll tell you what, they're down 14 right now. And even though they've been dominated, they need something to get them back where it's a manageable number. However, when you shoot free throws, and you'll see the foul right here by Wahed. Actually, they got the second. They got Van Exel. It should have been. He should have waited for Wahed to actually get the foul. It's much easier to shoot free throws up 14 than it is when it's a close game.
And Jeff Bowen has been hitting his shots in this series. He's now 13 for 20, well over 65%. Offensive foul. Remember, Bowen shot 40% during the regular season. Foul on Finley. There's the push on Parker.
Left hand first in his chest, knocked him down. As you said, Jeff, each game thus far, you've said that Tony Parker has done an outstanding job of keeping his body between the offensive man and the basket, really cutting down on Nash's penetration.
And Bowen heads back to the line. In game 3, Bowen went 5 for 6 from the line. When Don Nelson began the Hack-a-Bowen strategy, he actually hit 5 of 8 from the free throw line. There it is. That's the indication from Nelson to intentionally foul Bruce Bowen. But Don had said, hey, if he hits the free throws, we'll stop doing it. He has been hitting the free throws.
They have Parker on Wahed as Williams knocks down a 3. They should post Wahed.
And Nelson is saying do it again. And Tariq Abdul-Wahid has been the give a foul man.
Well, that was a 3-to-1 exchange. So for Don Nelson, it worked out well. Bowen missed the free throw. They go down and shoot a 3 and make it. Wahed takes the next foul. Nelson will take a 3-to-1 every time down if he can get it.
Bowen now 2 of 4 at the line. The players look embarrassed. to commit the foul. It's part of the game. We talked about it the other day. That goes back to the days of Red Holzman with the New York Knicks when a player by the name of Mike Reardon would give a foul. The rules were different at that time, but here's Bowen. Hits 2 more, so 4 of 6 at the line for Bowen.
From a player standpoint, they know it's almost a concession that you're not good enough to beat them, which Dallas isn't good enough. But from a player standpoint, that's why they may truly be embarrassed.
Here's Van Exel for 3. Rebounded by Duncan. It's a 2-on-1. But Jackson lost sight of the ball.
Ball's a little bit behind Jackson. That time Parker tried to skip the ball across the floor, throw from one side, across to the other side. He threw a little bit behind the receiver.
Rick Wahead, who has seen very little time in this series, very little time during the regular season, backing his way on Parker.
And that's what I was saying, Mark. He was a very good post-up 2 guard when he was in Sacramento. He's a load. He has Parker on him. Get him in the post and force a double team, or if it's single coverage, he can turn and shoot over.
If you can draw the double team, Jeff, it'll open up the 3-point line.
That's an all-French matchup with Parker, who grew up in France. Abdul Waheed was born in France, although he grew up in the United States. Oh, beautiful move, and the Mavericks are re-energized. Van Exel now with 5 points, and he's cut it to an 11-point lead. San Antonio will talk it over with 2:40 remaining in this first half, and 11-4-1 by Dallas. Well, suddenly some signs from the Mavericks. Don Nelson changing the tone of the game and committing those intentional fouls on Bruce Bowen. San Antonio without a field goal the last 3:45.
Little mini run. Walt Williams stepping up, hit the jump shot, and then Tariq Abdul-Wahad taking a smaller Tony Parker down low and using the glass for a bank shot.
Bruce Bowen 4 for 6 from the free throw line. Manu Ginobili checks back in, so Ginobili and Parker now in the backcourt.
And I'm really surprised Dallas has hung this close with Finley, Nash, and Van Exel combined 7 for 20.
Spurs have led by as many as 19. Good play by Nahara. And off the turnover, here comes Van Exel. Finley battling with Parker. Open shot for Williams. Nahara with the hustle keeps it alive. Williams with a wild shot. The tip missed. And then rebounded by Duncan.
There's great hustle by Steven Jackson to challenge the shot in the corner a couple seconds ago.
Here's Rose. Malik Rose continues to score at critical times for San Antonio. With Dallas in the midst of a run, he's able to come right back. But here's Van Exel throwing glass, and the Spurs now lead 58-47. And it looked like Malik took a shot on the mouth. Nice pass. Jackson gives it back. And Parker hesitant to shoot the 3. Ginobili does. Good box out by Williams. Dallas playing much better here in the second quarter. Van Exel. And Duncan able to rescue it.
That's 2 shots that they could have had fall in. It just rolled out the last 2 times. A tip in by Finley, and that bank shot by Van Exel.
Just under 1 minute remaining in the first half. Parker open.
I think that's the shot that Don Nelson will live with all night.
And Exel. Rebound number 8 for Duncan, who pitches down, picked off by Finley. And a bad pass. Recovered by Finley.
And Wahed made a nice hustle play to keep the possession for Dallas. He and Nahara provided great energy.
Van Exel, rebounded by Rose. Abdul-Wahed played only 14 games during the regular season, bothered by knee injury. There's Parker off the dribble. Comes Williams. With time running out, that will do it. Dallas ends the half on a 13-6 run. San Antonio with only one field goal the last 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Dallas able to cut into that 19-point deficit. They're now down by 11. Let's go to Craig and Malik Rose.
Well, Marv just mentioned you guys had one field goal in the last 6 minutes. Even though Bruce Bowen was making some free throws, did that disrupt your game, disrupt your flow by them going to the heck of Bowen?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty good job by Nelly, just, getting us out of our rhythm, jumping up the game a little bit, and, save some points on our lead.
You're involved in a little altercation here with Eduardo Nahara. The other day you jumped up. Today you just took the hit. Are they trying to be physical with you?
These guys are playing hard. They're not trying to, do anything to hurt anybody. It's just maybe it's a little bit of frustration or whatever. I'm, keeping a level head, and I don't have any money to lose in the fight.
All right, thanks a lot. Thank you, man.
All right, Craig. Malik Rose had 10 points, 12 for Bowen. Steve Jackson with 11. Tim Duncan with 10 and 8 rebounds. Michael Finley leading Dallas with 12. San Antonio up by 11. At the free throw strike. There's some pressure on the inbounds as Greg Popovich opens with his starting lineup with Tim Duncan, David Robinson, and Bruce Bowen, Steven Jackson, and Tony Parker in the backcourt.
Full court pressure start out with for Dallas. That's a little bit different. Change the tempo of the game. Shot clock running down right now.
Jackson with a quick release. Steven Jackson played well once again. He now has 13 points. In fact, he is the high man of the game. Finley to the pull-up. Yes. Michael Finley over Tony Parker.
And they just ran a little exchange, which forced Parker to switch on Finley. Finley used his size to shoot over the top of Parker. And I like them starting Nahara, who gives him great effort and energy.
Here's Jackson for three. Kept alive. Robinson. And a foul call. It is on Finley. That's two on Michael Finley. Let's go over to Craig.
Well, at halftime, Coach Popovich told his team we outscored Dallas in each of the first 2 quarters, but I was disappointed in those last 6 minutes. It is now MVP time. Time for Tim Duncan to take over, get the ball in his hands. As we've seen so far, that first basket, Duncan got the assist. Here on the second possession, he tipped the rebound to David Robinson. Cheryl?
Craig, Coach Nelson decided to go with an even smaller lineup for the second half. The reason being is he really wants his team to get into the transition game. He said that has to start, number one, at the defensive end. We need to get stops. And number two, we have to rebound the ball. And Marv will see if it'll pay off in the second half.
And that smaller lineup consists of Eduardo Nahara, rather, and Rafe LaFrance. Nahara with the head fake on David Robinson. That is block number 5 for the Admiral.
Trying to take advantage of Robinson closing out. Nahara shows it, puts it on the floor, but a great recovery that time, and Robinson still has the timing to change or block shots.
Shot clock to 4. And Williams stepped out of bounds. Jack East right there to make that call.
That's got to be a little scary, Jeff. Duncan's playing you as you're driving baseline, and you encounter Robinson at the rim. Where do you go from there?
That's why they were the best half-court defensive team in the league this year.
61-49. San Antonio looking to close out this series. They do not want to go back to Dallas for a game 6. Duncan, the Spurs now lead it 63-49. Being played by Bowen. Williams lost it. And last touch by the Spurs.
You see San Antonio really closing out, really running at Dallas hard, getting up into him, forcing him to put it on the floor, and then forcing right into the two big men.
Shot clock for 6. Walt Williams having a difficult time and then hit the floor.
And we see it again. Walt Williams' game is not putting the ball on the floor. San Antonio's doing a great job making him do that, and it's leading to poor shot attempts. Here Williams drives, tries to finish, and then tried to take a foul, ends up on his back. It's not going well for the Wizards.
Williams now 3 of 11. Grateful French comes on for Eduardo Najarra, just collected his third foul. And Tariq Abdul-Wahed, who played 5 minutes and hit a nice shot in the second quarter, will check back in. Tariq was originally selected by the Sacramento Kings in the first round, 11th overall back in 1997. That's a technical foul. Technical foul on Walt Williams.
I think Williams felt, Marv, he was hit actually on that last drive to the basket from behind, the one that he rolled on the ground Jeff had commented on, and just had obviously a little bit too much to say about it.
Some parting words for Jack Neese, and there's the tee.
No comments about the camera work on that one. They caught everything. They caught the comment, the technical foul. Jeff, you didn't want to jump in on that?
And Parker called for the offensive foul. It's a charge on Parker.
Here Parker's driving. Nash steps in. He is clearly outside of the restricted area, but is he there sort of leaning in? I like the call. I always reward the courage of taking a charge if I'm the official.
So just if someone shows courage for you, that makes it a correct call. Is that it? Even though the guy was
I'm giving the bailing of the doubt.
Bailing out, turned his shoulder in, did not squared up. You still want to give it to him.
I'm giving Steve Nash that benefit of the doubt right there.
Well, Steve Nash not able to get to that. It was thrown well over his head. And the ball back to San Antonio. Now, sorry, Jeff had a very busy day today.
What could he do? Because I didn't see him any part of the day. Well, we were in meetings.
Jeff had his own meetings with a couple of teams. And Duncan puts it down. 17-point San Antonio lead. Jackson and Van Exel chasing down. Van Exel trying to save it. Don Nelson makes the catch. And the ball back to San Antonio. And the Spurs are hearing it from this crowd as they've turned it up a notch here in the third quarter after that rally late second by Dallas. Jeff, what is going on in the coaching world?
I don't know about in the coaching world, but I did meet with Cleveland again today. It was a good meeting. Those things are still ongoing as Robinson gets fouled. And yesterday I was fortunate enough to have a chance to meet with Houston, and both teams are, outstanding opportunities for whoever gets it. We'll just see how it goes from here.
Any questions, John?
No, I mean, I was very concerned because you kind of changed our travel plans. You went off on your own. You disappeared. That's not like you. You're normally a team guy.
Well, I think you're right about that. I pride myself on being team first and team last, except when I'm involved.
The only I came in.
The old eye, yeah.
The old eye.
You don't have to answer to him.
He just makes me feel so uncomfortable all day. He's like jabbing me. It's like I'm in a boxing match.
He was particularly annoying today, and you were able to get it for most of the day.
And I just can feel what it had to be like for you to just be solo with him.
It was rough.
And I'm sorry about that. I really am.
They get the new shot clock. 3 minutes gone by in the third. 17-point ball for San Antonio.
Dallas with a little zone, hoping that San Antonio will miss a couple of jumpers from the outside.
And David Robinson with a third opportunity is called for offensive interference.
But I'll be very interested to see that. Ed Rush, the director of officials, says if the ball's rolling out when you make contact, even if it's on the rim, that should be a basket that counted from what Ed Rush told us a couple games ago.
Because the ball was on its way out of the cylinder, even though it was still in it, technically a part of it, it was on its way rolling out, so he could go after it.
16 points for Finley. 66-51 Spurs.
I love being in the know on officiating matters. I really do.
And Parker draws the foul. Michael Finley was upset with that call, although the call is on Ahara. That's number 4. So Parker to the foul line. Tony Parker, who merely attended Georgia Tech just before he was about to sign. He re-upped with the team in France, remained in Europe. Born in Belgium, raised in France, where his parents spoke French at home. And he and his 2 younger brothers replied in English, very similar to the Czar's household. As a youngster, Mike's parents spoke English at home, and the Czar would stare at them with a blank look, which we've become accustomed to.
That's terrible. That really is. That's not right.
16-point San Antonio lead. Bowen called for the foul. And let's see, was he releasing in 3-point territory as Bowen picks up his first? And it's called a... Check the feet.
Try and get a look here. As the fake goes up, he steps inside there. That's where the contact takes place.
Well, he called a non-shooting foul.
He fouled him so hard, Bob, he couldn't get the shot off.
There's Finley, yes. Michael Finley with 18 points.
And Finley has played very well the entire series. He's been consistent, except in Game 3 where he didn't play particularly well. But the other games, he's been outstanding.
As has Steven Jackson. Jackson from downtown. He now has 17. Finley. Foul is called. The outside official, Mike Callahan, making that call.
Dallas trying to come back immediately after the score. In transition, you saw the 5 white hustle back from San Antonio, but the foul on Finley, he goes to the foul on. And Jeff, you really did pay tribute to this young man, because regardless of what happens to Dallas in this series, he has shown up each night and just been simply a quiet terrific for them.
And you know what else I love about what Finley's done is when Nash has come there and Nowitzki's developed, he's gone from the best player on the Dallas bad teams to adjusting to being the 3rd option on the great Dallas team that they have right now. He's done it without complaint. He's focused on the defensive end, still scored well, but thought of his team first, and that's a tribute to him.
Parker, Abdul ahead, gets it to Michael Finley. Nahara. Good transition by the Mavericks, and finally a Dallas player aside from Finley has scored here in this 3rd quarter. Spurs up by 13, 5 minutes gone by in the 3rd. Bowen. New shot clock to San Antonio. Marv Albert with the Czar, Mike Fratello, Jeff Van Gundy, Greg Sager, Cheryl Miller with the SBC Center. San Antonio, Van Exel with the strip. It's a 4-on-3. Bell gives it right back. San Antonio able to recover. Nahara. A lot of pass work. Let's see if it pays off.
That was beautiful anyway.
It was. It was fun to watch. To see the ball movement they had San Antonio spinning around the defensive end. Wide open shot, but they couldn't make it.
Bowen for 3. And Exel puts the move on Parker. Here comes Jackson. The rejection by Finley. Offensive foul. An illegal screen set by Roger Bell. And a timeout call.
Dallas coming down and pushing the handoff, and then by running into the defensive player while he's on the move, that's where the offensive foul is called on Roger Bell.
Look at these impressive accomplishments over this Hall of Fame career. 10-time All-NBA, the 1995 MVP, 1990 Rookie of the Year, battling through knee and back problems all season long.
And those basketball accomplishments are dwarfed by the type of person he is. Started the school, his own school, the Carver School here. He's been unbelievable in this community and a great example.
Finley, as we say it, Robinson's pass picked off.
And Greg Popovich has sent him to the bench.
Greg not happy with David at this particular moment, who has 5 points, but 5 rebounds and 5 blocked shots. Had that pass stolen and then picked up a foul.
You know what I find interesting in the paper today? How they say Greg Popovich will coach his stars as hard as he will the role players, which has eliminated any tension or favoritism on the team. And I think that's a great sign of a great coach, and also that the best players accept coaching, like Duncan, like Robinson, is a reflection on them as well.
I think that's the whole key right there. If your leaders, if your best players, your most experienced guys will accept it and handle it and show them that it's all part of what team and winning is about, then everybody else kind of falls in line.
San Antonio's led by as many as 19, and Dallas has it down to 11. Duncan is fouled. Nahara and Van Exel. Fouled on the play, and it's on Van Exel. The stat line tonight on Tim Duncan: 14 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. Spurs 18 of 29 at the line. Dallas has been perfect, 14 of 14. That was a bad-looking free throw. Well, it's the drama of NASCAR here on TNT. It all begins July 3rd. For complete schedule information, log on to NASCAR.com.
You know where to find me on the July 4th weekend, Marv. I will be there. I hear it's unbelievable, an unbelievable sporting event live.
Which city will you be watching from?
No, I'm going to go.
Oh, you'll be there.
Be there.
Live?
Live. If Mike Pearl gets me tickets, I'll be there.
Putting the pressure on our executive producer. Shot clock down to 6. Nice move by Van Exel. 9 points for Nick Van Exel. It's down to 10.
That's why you saw Greg Popovich react the way he did to Robinson's pass. He felt there was some carelessness there. Didn't pay attention to detail on inbounding the ball. He's trying to shake the team up because he senses that Dallas is hanging around now where they had it up and could have opened this thing up. Instead, it's gone the other way.
And a foul is called on LaFrance. That is number 5. Mavericks over the limit. So Duncan back to the line where he has had his problems. He is 3 of 9 at the line.
If you want this guy to be down closer to the basket, he's most comfortable on the perimeter, but somehow Don Nelson will find a way to work this guy in, and obviously you have to find a way to make him productive because you've signed him to a long-term contract.
He's one of the most enigmatic players in the league. You don't know what, you guys like that one. I've been thinking about enigmatic, but he really fits that bill. Some nights he's great, and then you wonder why other nights he can't get anything going. I'm puzzled too.
Michael Finley from downtown. A prolific third quarter for Finley. 25 points in all. 13 have come here in the third, and the Mavericks are within 8. Duncan rebounded by Williams. This is the closest the Mavs have been since early the second. And every game we have been talking about the fact that Van Exel is too strong on that shot, but the San Antonio has not been able to hold on a lead. Parker, oh, what a move by Tony Parker. Spurs 74, Mavericks 64.
What amazes me is you got all 4 syllables out of that big word tonight.
What amazes me is that you can figure it out.
Right.
Just under 4. Remaining in the third. Rafe LaFrance remaining on the floor despite the 5 fouls. Parker with room. He has not hit his shot tonight. Come up big in the third quarter. The 2 previous games, Parker has been off. Here's LaFrance for 3. Way off, but Williams makes the catch and puts it down.
Jeff, this little, lack of a better word, jump defense, meaning it's a combination defense that Dallas is playing, has helped them get right back in this game again.
And if they had more fouls, I think you'd be seeing Hackett Duncan right now struggling from the free throw line.
Duncan getting position. Well, Tim Duncan allowed to get deep on Eduardo Nahara.
That man coming back off the passer may have to hang a little bit longer to force Duncan to give it up.
Duncan knocking it aside. Last touch by the Spurs. Now Manu Ginobili will check in. Dallas wants to talk. Timeout call with 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining in the third, but the Mavericks have battled their way back into it.
Duncan likes to split the defensive players, and then when he does that, he's just simply too big. He shoots it up over the top of Eduardo.
In the third quarter, and Finley has had a direct part in 15 of the 19 points with 13 rebounds, 13 points rather in this third quarter, 2 rebounds, an assist, and a blocked shot. Dallas in possession as we pick it up. Nahara, Williams, Finley, Bell, and Van Exel on the floor. Once again, go to the exceedingly small lineup of LaFrance sitting down. LaFrance has 5 fouls. Finley, oh, what a move. Beautiful fake on Jackson.
Think about what they're doing. They have one guy who was a regular starter this year on the floor in Finley, and they're doing it with 4 guys who normally come off the bench.
Duncan. Tim Duncan drilling it off the glass. Spurs 78, Mavericks 68. We approach 2 minutes remaining in the third. Dallas trying to hang on in this series, looking to bring it back home for a game 6. And there is a possibility, if this series does continue, that Dirk Nowitzki, out with that sprained knee, would be available for game 6 back in Dallas. Once again, the Mavericks without Nowitzki, without Sean Bradley, Evan Eschmeyer, their other big man who has seen limited action, also not available. Nahara to the reverse. Another assist for Finley. The Mavericks are within 8 with just under 2 to go in the third.
Come on, the guy who had a great game last game for San Antonio was Manu Ginobili. Has 21 points coming off the bench. He's got just 2 points thus far this evening. They've done a very good job on it.
Jackson not able to hit the 3. And the Spurs having their difficulties here in the third quarter.
And Mike, that's why you see Bruce Bowen coming in. He's coming in to guard Finley to try to lock him up.
Williams for Nahara. Gives it back, but he drew the foul. Nahara realized he was under pressure and kicked it back out, but he was fouled. It's a non-shooting foul. It's 3 on Parker. And here comes Bowen.
Nahara gets in the air, wants to shoot. At the last second, the size is going to change and kick it back out. I honestly don't see any contact at all.
Speedy Claxton is back with Tony Parker, who's been very quiet. Only 7 points. with an 8. Nahara with a strong move. Nahara with the rebound. And he is fouled. What an effort by Eduardo Nahara. Foul on Duncan. That's his third.
Nahara stays after it, misses the first one, then simply outwits Duncan to the ball, and then inside, probably the hand on his back, and then coming over the shoulders where the foul is called.
Eddie Energy is bringing it right now. I mean, his effort and will, even though he's undersized, his competitive spirit has lifted this Dallas team. They're feeding off it right now.
That's why when he was injured during the season, Don Nelson said his team was not quite the same, particularly at the defensive end, because they lacked his toughness and the energy that he brings to that team.
Dallas 16 of 16 at the line. They led the NBA in free throw shooting. Beating Claxton. And Manu Ginobili now in the backcourt. Just under a minute remaining in this third quarter. 3-second violation. The ball back to Dallas. They're down by only 6 with 59 seconds to go in the third.
Again, I called it a junk defense. It's a combination. They come down. They're compact right now so they can rebound the ball. They're willing to be late on a jump shoot as opposed to giving up something on the inside.
Michael Finley getting a rest, getting down for the first time tonight. Both teams are over the foul limit. Williams with a bad pass, but got a break. It was kicked by Duncan.
Well, Williams is having trouble finishing off the dribble and also passing off the dribble. He's much more comfortable as a spot-up, stationary jump shooter.
14 on the shot clock. 43 seconds remaining in the third. And Exel working on Bowen. Working hard. Goes to the running hook. 8-second differential between the game clock and shot clock. Now to 20 seconds to go on the quarter. Here is Ginobili for three. Manu Ginobili line drives it from downtown. 81-72. Dallas will hold for a last shot of this third quarter with final seconds. Nash. Nahara. Nice setup. And here's Ginobili with the underhand cross that hit the rim. 3 quarters complete. Dallas with a 21-11 run to end the third, led by Finley. 15 of his 27 in the third. Quarter as we check out this sellout crowd.
Oh, look at the cute little baby. You know who's behind that face? That's little Kyle Carlissimo. Assistant coach PJ Carlissimo's son is Mike Carroll. There's PJ. I know PJ would love to send out a hi to his mom, Lucy. Lucy up at Mountainside Hospital, New Jersey, had a pacemaker put in. She was almost ready to get home tonight to catch the game on TNT. They kept her one more night, but she's doing fine. Hello, Lucy.
And a beautiful move by Walt Williams, the Wizard. Takes it to the rim. Mavericks are down by only 5. They've trailed by as many as 19. They were down by as many as 17 early third quarter. Ginobili for 3. And here comes Dallas. They stay with the small lineup. Tariq Abdul-Wahed is back. Played well. Abdul-Wahed off the dribble. Nowhere to go. Gives it back to Nahara. Nahara. Mavericks not able to get a good shot on that sequence.
A slight understatement on your part that time.
Rose. Rebounded by Williams. Michael Finley has had the hot hand. Getting set to check back in. Dallas with a 23-11 run. Here's Williams. Nash. Oh, what a move by Nash. And kicks it out. Nash recovers. Shot clock down to 2. Down to 1. The teardrop. Yes. Steve Nash. But he couldn't believe it.
He made 2 incredible moves. One was the dribble move much earlier that the way he did.
Dallas within 3. We're early 4th. The Mavericks try to hang on in this series. Here's Bowen for 3. Rebounded by Williams. Here comes Van Exel. Here's Bowen back on Nick Van Exel.
Of course, there's no fouls, Marv. He can't get Michael Finley in the game right now. He's been up at the table for the last minute.
Van Exel off the dribble. Nick Van Exel cuts it down to 1.
And what you're seeing here is resolve by the Dallas Mavericks. Almost knocked out in the first half. Don Nelson has them competing hard and believing.
Michael Finley trying to get back in the game. David Robinson now over at the scorer's table. Shot clock to 3. Claxton rolls with the rebound, and he is fouled by Van Exel.
And Popovich is going to sub right now and take Claxton out, because Claxton up to that point had turned down 2 or 3 open shots. He's going to get Tony Parker back in there, because Tony's been making his perimeter shots for the most part. He just feels if Claxton's going to turn him down, we've got to spread this defense out and be a threat from the perimeter.
Number 4 on Van Exel. Rose 2 for 2 at the line. 79%, a career high during the regular season. And once again tonight, San Antonio's had trouble at the line. It's 21 for 34, and that has been one of their problems in terms of blowing leads in the fourth quarter games, going back to the regular season and certainly during the postseason. Spurs 83, Mavericks 80. So Finley is back. LaFrentz is back. LaFrentz with 5. And Van Exel playing with 4 fouls. Nash for Nahara, rejected by Rose. 3 minutes gone by in the fourth. Ginobili for 3. Nash is on it. He has Van Exel, but couldn't find him. There's Nash. Yes! And the game is tied at 83.
You know what's amazing, Jeff? And he has all that energy, Nash, to give it up, get it back, give it up, get it back. And then when he catches it, enough energy to get the 3-point shot and splash it.
And Nelson substituted for him more often and more frequently, and now he has more energy to finish the game.
Duncan is fouled, so he will go back to the line where he has struggled, only 4 of 10 at the line. Foul on Finley, his 3rd.
We talked about great moves. Watch this dribble move. Behind his back, between 2 white jerseys. Getting the ball to be able to kick it out. And then with the clock running down, 2, 1. And there it is in the net by Steve Nash. Both in the same series.
Trouble holding on to leads, both in the regular season and in the postseason. Look at what has taken place in the playoffs. They have blown double-digit leads in 6 playoff games, losing 4 of the 6. And tonight, once again, without Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan at the line, where he is 4 of 10. Greg Popovich telling us earlier, made an interesting comment. He said the Mavericks are more dangerous without Dirk Nowitzki, but they're better with him. Without him, they're unpredictable, and that's what we're seeing here tonight.
Mark, when I said a rested Steve Nash, I was referring back to Jeff saying that Don Nelson has taken him out, given him short rest. He has just 27 minutes right now in the game. Last game, he had 41 minutes.
Ginobili able to get to that missed shot. Nash attempting to give Dallas the lead for the first time. They double up on Duncan. Here's Bowen. Ginobili. Rebounded by Finley. And again, Dallas Dallas with an opportunity to take the lead for the first time tonight. Parker defending on Finley. Here's Nash for the crossover. Oh, what a pass. LaFrance wide open. The Mavericks have come from 19 back, and they lead by 7:20 remaining in the fourth. Duncan over LaFrance. Rebounded by Finley, who has been sensational.
See, what Pump wants to have happen for San Antonio is get a stop, and he's imploring his team to push the ball back to get some easy scores in transition.
LaFrance.
And their perimeter players, San Antonio's, are very hesitant right now. Passing up shots, passing up driving opportunities.
Ginobili trying to lead Duncan. Now Bowen with the three. Deflected out by the Spurs. Robinson and Duncan going for that loose ball.
Jeff, as you know so well, you get to stretches of the game as a coach where things become uncontrollable, meaning balls deflecting off your team's hands, you miss wide open shots, and it tends to snowball. Sometimes you try different combinations to snap it, but it doesn't happen.
You're absolutely right. It's sometimes very difficult to stem negative momentum, particularly at home when fans are impatient.
Although the crowd here is very supportive.
Somewhat like New York when it's going bad.
I was wondering what you were referring to.
So, yes.
San Antonio calls for time. The Mavericks with a dramatic turn. They have outscored the Spurs 13-3 here in this fourth quarter. They lead the Spurs 87-84. After they swept the Detroit Pistons. This crowd urging on the Spurs. They have blown a 19-point lead. Mavericks up by 3, hoping to extend to a Game 6 back in Dallas on Thursday. 6 minutes remaining in the fourth. San Antonio 0 for 8 from the field in this fourth quarter. Robinson saves the pass. Duncan stuffs.
And that is an absolute killer. Great defense, stroke of luck by Robinson to Duncan. Instead of having the ball up 3, it's cut to 1.
Van Exel for 3. And they are on fire. They have outscored the Spurs 37-16. That goes back to the third quarter. Mavericks 90, Spurs 86. Will come up on 5 minutes remaining in the fourth. Robinson, he thought he was fouled. Back comes Nash. Van Exel over Bowen. O'Hara gets to the rebound. Finley's pass deflected short. Jackson in the open court. Parker not looking to shoot. Now Bowen, he passed on the 3. Jackson with a bad pass, and this looks like a rattled San Antonio team.
It's like a summer league game right now. It's up and down, helter-skelter, and that's the game that Dallas thrives in.
It's a very tough game to defend, Jeff, as you know, particularly if they're good offensive players, because you don't know where they're coming from or what they're doing next, because they don't know it themselves.
Loose ball foul on Finley off the steal by Jackson. No, they say Jackson. So Dallas maintains possession.
These are just 2 guys working hard, trying to cut up on a loose ball. And it looks like in that play that it was the blue shirt that pushed the white jersey out of bounds. The foul should have been on Finley.
Only the first team foul on the Spurs. Nash, yes. Steve Nash with a sensational finish in the second half. He now has 14 points. And Mike Callahan blowing the whistle. There is a problem with the clock.
It's all the way down to 12 seconds already. I would think there's still a little more time left on the clock.
San Antonio's thinking to themselves, things are going bad enough. We don't even have the full shot clock.
Watch how tough this is. Spin, pull back, fade away, hit it up high enough, and still have enough distance to make it.
And that was good defense. It was just an impossibly difficult shot that he made.
6-point Dallas lead. In a remarkable turnaround in the second half. Another turnover. Here comes Finley. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter.
Those turnovers, that's one of the problems that San Antonio's had the entire season is clean turnovers.
Oh, Nash spinning his way with the shot clock running down.
I'm surprised they're not running more pick and rolls with Nahara to get Van Exel free.
Hawker shoots the three. And the foul, it's a loose ball foul. John Nelson upset with the call. It is on Nash. That's his second. For a moment, they feared it was LaFrance.
Let's see where this foul takes place. The hold right there. Nash has Robinson's right wrist, and that's where the hold was called.
Rafe LaFrance playing with 5. Nick Van Exel has 4. Here's Jackson for 3. And rebounded by Nahara. We're approaching 3 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. An unlikely turn in the second half for the Mavericks, playing without their all-star Dirk Nowitzki. Van Exel is fouled. Nick Van Exel will shoot 2. Foul committed by Steven Jackson. Timeout called by Greg Popovich. The Spurs have seen this on a number of occasions this season, in particular in postseason. They did not expect it tonight, going against a small Dallas team.
Antonio perimeter players don't get themselves moving a little bit on the perimeter, and they expect Duncan to win this for them. With 3 and 4 guys surrounding him, they're making a mistake. They've got to attack.
Nick Van Exel to the line for the first time tonight. Let's check in with Greg.
Greg Popovich told his team more ball movement on offense. Steven Jackson gets to be over by the spot up. David Robinson, when he was not cutting to the basket like Popovich wanted. He said, we have to move the ball. The shots are open. The spotlight will be on Tony Parker. Tony Parker, take the shot. It's there. Penetrate if you get a chance. And definitely move the ball in transition. You have the green light to go for the fast break.
Thank you, Greg. And Dallas doing it at the foul line. Van Exel with a steal. A gamble. And was able to come up with the loose ball. Nick Van Exel, after hitting the 2 free throws, stole the ball. Mavericks with an 8-point lead in a remarkable comeback by an undermanned Dallas team. Nash with the step. Bowen able to recover. Shot clock to 2. Van Exel draws the foul. It is on Jackson.
No matter what you say, there is no substitute for passion and energy from a basketball team. Nick Van Exel suddenly running up, reaching in. Tony Parker doesn't expect him to be there, doesn't see it. Now with the clock basically running down, he has to launch it. The foul takes place. Van Exel goes to the foul line. This is an inspired Dallas basketball team.
A shot attempt from 3-point range, so he has 3 free throws. 21-5 advantage for the Mavericks over the Spurs in this fourth quarter. And go back further, they've outscored San Antonio.
That wasn't foul behind the 3-point line.
What they called. Let's see.
He's like a foot inside the 3.
You are correct.
Well, that's the second time that's happened. You should not have problems when they're in that far in front of the line. That's not even close.
The second in the series series, in fact, that's happened with McVan Exel.
97-86. Malik Rose hits a shot. Only the second field goal for San Antonio in this fourth quarter. 2 of 13 from the floor. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in the fourth.
Dallas cannot get tentative offensively.
Shot clock at 3 to 2. Finley forces and hits. Michael Finley with the fling with the shot clock running down. Mavericks lead at 9:88. Here's Jackson. And Exel with the rebound. We're under 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. LaFrance over Baldwin. San Antonio with a collapse in the second half. They're now down 101-88.
This is one of those things, Jeff, that you talked about before. When it's going good, when you've really got it going, you've built up the momentum, the energy and spirit are there. Every shot seems to go down for you.
Other players knocking into the chairs. The fans right there getting on the players because the coaches were a few feet away having their own huddle. Finally, Bowen started talking to the fans. Steve Kerr came over, stepped between them, and said, hey, settle down, pay attention, get ready to listen to the coaches.
All right, thanks, Craig. We've been talking about the many collapses suffered by San Antonio. On the other hand, Dallas has faced double-digit deficits in 12 of their 18 playoff games. And they have won 4 coming into tonight. 4 of those comeback efforts. They are an excellent come-from-behind team. Van Exel called for the foul. That is his 5th, and it is a non-shooting affair. They had the foul to give.
And Mark, the comeback started with the big 3. Finley, Nash, and Van Exel. 8 for 24 in the first half. 13 for 20. 65% in the second half.
A minute, 20 remaining in this fourth quarter. An amazing turnaround by a Maverick team without their best player, Dirk Nowitzki. Jackson called on the foul. They had a foul to give.
Well, let's go back to game number 1 for Dallas, which they won 113-110. They shot an incredible 50 free throws, missed the first one of the game, and then made the next 49 in a row. Right now, Dallas 21 for 21 from the foul line. An incredible performance. Think about it. San Antonio has shot 16 more free throw attempts tonight, but they have a difference of only 2 more points because they've missed 14 free throws.
This crowd filing out. They have been the last couple of minutes. I think what is particularly stunning is the fact that Dallas has been able to put forth this kind of effort 2 straight games without any size, without Nowitzki and Bradley. And Exel's shot was blocked. They did it in a different manner in game 4 with that quick burst at the start. Lots of energy. That will count as a foul. Jackson with the bucket, and he heads to the line with 55 seconds to go.
Yeah, Steve Nash pushes him in the back on the pullback reverse dribble. Nash right there shoves him as he takes off. He finishes the play, and it goes to the foul line.
Marv, I'm not sure in my 13 years in the NBA I've seen a more remarkable turn of events on the road for an undermanned team. When you're talking about playing Walt Williams as your 4, Nahara as your 5, for a majority of the minutes against such a great front line, this has just got to make Dallas feel so good. And really, think about their chances going into Game 6. Feel good about that as well.
In terms of NBA history, though, this will go down as one of the classic comebacks. Obviously, if it were a 7th game of a series, it would be more memorable. Finley is fouled. And we're also talking about possibility of a team coming back from a 3-1 deficit. Only 7 teams in NBA history have been able to do it. The last team to do it was Detroit just recently against Orlando. And now the question will be the status of Dirk Nowitzki for Thursday.
Jeff, do you think he will come back for Game 6, Nowitzki?
I don't know anything medically, but people, that think they're better off without him playing in Game 6 if he's healthy would be wrong. If this guy can play effectively without the possibility of re-injuring himself, then he'll be on the floor. It gives them their best chance to get it back here to San Antonio.
Jim, will you be back for Game 6?
Do I smell a setup with those two questions back-to-back? Of course I will.
I just thought I'd ask. I mean, it was a legitimate question.
What you're indicating is that tonight might have been I won't say the end, but certainly a stoppage in the broadcast career for Jeff.
I wouldn't just say a broadcast career. I have had the greatest time I could have possibly had because of you, Marv, this year.
One more game to go. They're celebrating.
Maybe more.
On the Dallas bench, yes. Final seconds. The Dallas Mavericks with a remarkable turnaround in the second half as they have defeated the San Antonio Spurs 103 to 91, and the series returns to Dallas for a Game 6 on Thursday. Dallas outscored San Antonio 29-10 in the fourth. Overall, a 50-21 advantage over the last 19.5 minutes after trailing by 17. San Antonio with only 3 field goals in the fourth quarter. Many heroes for the Mavericks, including Michael Finley with 31 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Let's go to Cheryl with Michael.
Michael, before the game, Charles Barkley was wearing a fishing cap. Obviously, you guys weren't ready to go home for vacation. Talk about the resiliency of this team.
First, let me say God is good. And second of all, I don't fish. And basically, that was my mentality coming into the game, that we wasn't ready to go home as a team. We've been having a great year. Why would you want it to end like this? So my mindset was to go in and make this 3-game series just a 1-game series and take it one at a time.
Michael, talk about the defense, especially in the second half. In the zone, you packed it down on Tim Duncan and basically, in essence, dared the Spurs to beat you from the perimeter.
Yeah, whatever defense we was in, Coach wanted us to be aggressive. In their losses, we were in right positions, but we wasn't aggressively doing it. So tonight, we took it upon ourselves to be aggressive in every aspect of the game. And if they were going to beat us from the outside, we was going to take that L.
Now, I know you're not a doctor, but you're going home. Have you guys given Dirk Nowitzki enough time to possibly play Thursday?
Well, as each game goes on, it gives his knee more time to heal. But, you know, Dirk's career is more important than this playoff series, unfortunately. And we're just going to take it one day at a time, and hopefully he can get back healthy soon.
Michael, congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Let's send it back to you, Marv.
Hi, Mom.
Thank you, Cheryl. This Western Conference Final Series continues. The high point men for the Mavericks. Finley with 31. Van Exel had 21. 14 for Nash. Came up big in the second half. Walt Williams at 12. What an all-around performance for Eduardo Najera. 11 points, 8 rebounds. San Antonio's high point man, Tim Duncan, but he was held in check in the second half. Finished with 23 points, 20 for Steven Jackson. Mavericks outscore the Spurs 29-10 in the fourth quarter. It is now the Spurs with a 3-2 lead over Dallas, and it's back for a Game 6 in Dallas. We'll be there on Thursday night right here on TNT. So for the Czar, Mike Fratello, for Jeff Van Gundy, Craig Sager, and Cheryl Miller, this is Marv Albert saying good night from a very quiet SBC Center in the River City of San Antonio.